to DBSync's Partner Series, where we share the invaluable insight our partners bring when successfully implementing products and services for their clients. In this year's first segment in the series, we're discussing the trends or the next big thing our partners are focusing on and the benefits of partnering together to meet those demands in these rapidly challenging and certainly uncertain times. So we're basically going to highlight what our partners are doing, hopefully getting a bit of a bird's eye view into the work they do, discovering the trends our partners are following and preparing for, and as well confirm the benefits of partnership to help be prepared to meet all those challenges ahead. So let me, without further ado, sort of get into this a little bit more, and let me certainly, I'd love to introduce Nagesh Anupindi, who is the CTO of Apoorva. I think Apoorva's been with the DBSync family for a few years now, so we're excited to hear a little bit more about what you do. Tell us a little bit about what your company does, what you do, and what either you think you're most proud of, or what sort of sets you apart from the crowd, Nagesh.
Sure. Thank you, Adrienne, for introductions. And Apoorva has been in business for more than 20 years. We started it, my wife and I started this when my twins were born. So it's actually a series that we continue to grow. They're in college, so we're actually graduating along with them to the next levels. In recent times, we have come across many of our clients, and we started finding a trend in our clients. They have been, the one word part of it is, they are multi-location organizations. So we have organizations that are franchises with multiple locations. We have organizations that just have thousands of locations. We needed to do technology for them. So it means many things. It could be an e-commerce for them. It could be inventory management for them, or just pure revenue management and accounting that goes with it. And for every one of them, providing the service and support is important. And what all of them requires is what we are good at, which that's the reason we call ourselves anything data, is our slogan, because having data which comes from multifaceted areas, such as whether it's a text file, CSV file comes on real time, or once every day, or once every hour, it doesn't matter, but we need to have a way to connect them so that their systems function properly, and so that they can take advantage of the digital world. So for us to do that, it is very important to have partners that can integrate, because we don't want to build every feature and functionality inside our client system. So for example, we might say, let's build a revenue management system, but we're not going to build a CRM as part of that. So we would have to use something like Salesforce. And the moment we did that, need to integrate with DBSync to that. So it's kind of giving my clients a rich type of functionality by building the bridges that DBSync already has out of the box.
Yeah, well, as you know, we certainly know quite a bit about that. So would you say your customers, anyone looking to connect information, or do you have a certain segment that you focus on?
We're focusing on the segment that is on multi-location companies. Mm-hmm. So it could be your McDonald's, or it could be which is a franchise like Subway, which I can go buy a Subway, right? Or it could be Starbucks. You can't buy Starbucks. It just so they have their own locations. I mean, it could be even somebody that has storage locations. Like, and if you go down the road, there's like every storage locations, U-Haul. All those companies are franchise multi-locations. And so the reason that we picked that is because the data that goes to them, there is a certain level of freedom, and there is a certain level of governance, just like United States of America. It's like each state has its own freedom, and the government is there. So same way, each location will have their own freedom. So they get to do so many things, but there has to be a governance followed by the headquarters. So what happens is this location might go and buy Salesforce CRM, and another locations might buy HubSpot. So our ability to integrate with all those things at the headquarters level and still be able to get the necessary data to govern each location so that they don't go out of the norm and that gets them in trouble is very important. So it's not just, can I have a good working system at the headquarters, but how do I make all the locations have the freedom, let them do whatever they want, but still govern them at the headquarters level. So that's where our company focuses on. So you could see how important the data is, how important the data is needs to move around. So that's the reason Apoorva is anything data.
Yeah, it certainly makes sense. Now, would you say then, trend-wise, is there anything unique about your customers, like are certain trends because they're franchises, or is there, how do you know kind of what to be focusing on? Is it different when you're thinking about multiple locations long-term, just to get a sense of kind of what your process is and kind of knowing what the latest and greatest is?
Thank you. Yes, definitely. Just like you asked us a question, what sets you apart? We do the same thing with our customers. So for example, even though McDonald's sells and Burger King sells both of them burgers, there is a difference in the core of what they do. It's not, I'm not talking about the leadership and value system side of it, but it's the way they market, the price, the product, and the way they source their ingredients and suppliers and all of that. So when we look at that, that's the core system we have to build, or systems, multiple systems build, suppliers. How do you get all those things narrowed down so that what is your core? Is it minimum cost or faster supplies? So there is that trend, right? So McDonald's might say, my most important thing is that I get consistent deliveries per way. And with Burger King might say, I need it to be fast. Doesn't matter whether it comes sourced from here and there. So in those situations, the systems themselves are architected differently. So we go with the differentiating factor for that. But even though your core is different, so we build that core, everything else has to be adaptable for Salesforce CRM, Oracle, right, or Postgres databases, Snowflake's data warehouses, all of them. So that's the reason we are able to integrate with tools such as DBSync for us to take their core, build the core, but let them be free enough to do whatever they want.
Right. And so what have you seen or what did you prepare for 2022? Anything specific, anything new, or, because trends in many ways, they can either be, wow, this is so exciting and new, or they can sometimes just be, here's a problem or something that we're working on that we've seen based on some stuff in, the past. What are you seeing?
The data goes through so many transformations when we work with our client. In 2022, when we actually had our own internal agenda of how we should change or is there any room for us to change better? Obviously, there is always. What we found out is our customers don't want to wait till we finish the system, whether it is a data warehouse or an application. Instead, they wanted to get their hands in between. It's almost like, if there is an assembly line going on and you just wanted to sample the chocolate at every bit of every stage of it. So the people wanted to do such things with how their data is moving. So we are actually creating interfaces that allows us to be able to create those small windows to see how the data is flowing, so it helps in two ways. One is they can catch the data early to see how the raw numbers are before the pretty dashboards come out. Right. And so two, if there is a burnout of the data or inconsistencies of the data that they're seeing that spit out of our processes, they could say, wow, this one, it says this particular region is not found. And I know the dashboard is going to be bad. So they would actually go quickly and fix the source themselves. So our objective for 2022 onwards is the ability to give them the windows in the assembly line of how the data processes.
Right. It's so true. It's like side note, I watch a lot of, designer shows, and that's kind of always the challenge. People have all these ideas and it's so, they're like, okay, I'm trying to wait till the end, but I just got to see what's going to make sure, it's hard to kind of wait. It's not hard to wait for the finished product, but you're right. There's so many things in between that you might, we might need to adjust this, or this is giving us insight. So it's critical to have that transparency. Now, it sounds like obviously after 2 decades, you're well prepared for all this, but have you found yourself with any challenges? Has it been hard to open up that view at all those different levels for folks?
It's not a challenge per se, but it is about using your resources to do something else, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, I know I've been giving a lot of food references. It's almost like Taco Bell has same ingredients for last 15 years, but you keep seeing so many, the menu changes every time, right?
Yeah.
It's about redirecting your ingredients to create the new thing. So it's not a challenge, but it is about, hey, how do I do this? So I got to train your people saying, chalupa burrito is different than your regular burrito. You just have to train them, but ingredients are all same. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Okay, so it sounds like you're obviously, well prepared for that process. And you've kind of talked about it a little bit already as sort of especially in the work that you do, there is certainly a value in partnership. One, because there's, as we know in IT, there's, the latest and greatest can change every 3 to 6 months or sooner.
Yeah.
So you've got to obviously be on your toes, and prepare the business to quickly follow suit. You've got to stay nimble. So as you kind of mentioned already, certainly we understand, data management as we say, the huge wave that's been coming. We too have been in the game over a decade. So we've seen the modifications and made them ourselves. And we kind of think that our backup and replication products are kind of critical to that piece, since we know data management is something that every company, has to have as a top priority today, whether it's just what do I have and where is it, or how do I protect what I have and make sure I'm in compliance. So you're well aware of all those things as well. But I think also if we're, looking back, and particularly the last few years, we can kind of see really the importance of teams, whether it's, internal or teams, I like to say as partners, in helping us get all this work done, because there's so much, and you said there's so many multi-factions, whether you're working with, multiple groups or even just, kind of one local company, a lot of the same challenges still exist, and you need, kind of your experts in every area. So we like to pride ourselves, on having our sort of plug and play products, nimble, easy to go, flexible, all this, and having our great, support system as far as if you've got a problem, we're going to stay there to the bitter end and make sure, we've resolved it. So, those are some ways in which we like to pride ourselves in partnership and really trying to not only have great products, but have partners, so it becomes more than transactional. Tell me then kind of how, if you're telling me about partnership with Apoorva, what does that look like? How do you see partnership as kind of critical to the work that you do? What defines a good partner? Kind of however you see that world. And then tell us a little bit about your experience with us in trying to develop and improve that partnership.
Definitely. I can summarize my partnership mindset in simple thing. Partners are our bread and butter, right? So they are the windows for us to see into the future of the world. We know what we know because the clients that we are serving. That's it. So our world is made out of the technology that exists at our clients. However, when we go to our partners, they saw so many more clients. So that the sheer number of the clients that they come across, all those things gives us an experience that we can leverage not just across our clients, but also with the clients that our partners have. So that's the reason when we put the proposal together for one of our clients, we immediately say, okay, which partner is right based upon the technologies that they have. And we reach out to the specific partner and say, this is what it looks like, and then they would say, wow, we've done something similar at XYZ client. So they're bringing in their vast experience, and that they're suggesting us tweak this architecture this way or that way. So it's not only, hey, can I buy a DBSync this for this much and can I resell it? But I use my partners not just as a reseller, but as at Apoorva, we actually use them as co-architects for our clients. So it's very important for us. We pride ourselves to be very good at data. That's the reason Apoorva, anything data comes up all the time. But at the same time, we are not going to be successful without us having a a conversation with our partners at the table. So we actually architect together. And when it comes to DBSync, I mean, if somebody says QuickBooks, I'm like, okay, DBSync. When somebody says Salesforce, and we're like, okay, yeah, which part? Because it says DBSync. I mean, when somebody says GP, Microsoft GP, we know DBSync. So it's kind of there are some defaults that we go through, but partners are our lifeline.
Oh, well, we couldn't feel any more similar. Exactly. I mean, it's just like you said, it's not just, hey, I need another product to help a client here, but all the co-architecture, the sharing of knowledge that not only is critical for this project, but I know you pick up as we do from our partners and use that as far as going, as insight into the next project as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think, you've certainly, I feel like obviously we're kindred spirits in what we do, right? But you've certainly shared some really important insights, I think, just in as far as partnership and really what that means, as well as really as far as listening to, as we know, part of that work requires not only for your partners, really understanding your clients, listening to them, and then finding, as you said, the right people to help sort of make that whole process work successfully. So I want to thank you for sharing your brain power with us and giving us insight. I loved all your food references because they certainly helped us really understand the complexity of this process. And I thought those were excellent. So do not, I'll never think of the chalupa and the burrito supreme in quite the same way, but you're right. It's all about that, understanding what kind of has to be the base and then all the nuances that go around that. So we think that certainly, just like you, the best way to kind of get there is to use your resources well. And of course, that's where partnership comes in. Now, before we leave, I did want to do two things. One, I wanted to give you a chance to leave us with any last pearls of wisdom that, I mean, you've already shared so many, but anything that you'd like to share, just kind of a thought to leave us with. And then also where we can find out more information about Apoorva, all the end-to-end data that you're doing, which we know is tons, and where can they find that information? So if you've got anything to give us, great. If not, just tell us where we can find out more on our own.
Yeah, definitely. The main wisdom that I say is there is always a business side to technology. Any company like ours who provide custom software development, if they do not understand the business side, it's always comes back and tries to tell you that your system should have architected this way versus that way. On that note, I mean, I understand the business models of everybody and all of that, but I wanted to understand the finance side of it also, because at the end of the day, the objective of my client, who are business owners, is to make some money for themselves. Sure. So actually, to gain more wisdom, I actually joined Columbia MBA. So it's I'm very proud of.
You're not playing around.
Yeah, my daughters go to Cornell.
So I got twin Dad's in there too.
Yeah, twin daughters go to Cornell, and I'm going to Columbia. I started a couple semesters are done. So it's very important. My wisdom is very important for technologists to understand the business side and articulate business. So think business first, is if I have to say it in one sentence. Yeah. Think business first before you do the technology architecture. That's what makes you a great CTO. On the information about Apoorva, we're a family type of company. All our clients feel the pleasure, especially when they are going through the pain of, hey, system is down, and they feel confident to call us at any time, anywhere. So we are very open-minded. We solve their problems as if they are our own. And you can find all our information on apoorva.com. If not, reach out to me. My name is Nagesh. A lot of people, you can Google and they'll find me.
Yeah, like it or not, we're going to find you wherever we search. Well, no, I think that, yeah, I mean, you've certainly said it all. And I think, to follow up on that as well, if you need more information from DBSync, certainly you can find us at our website too, www.mydbsync.com. We've got some interesting things up at YouTube. You can follow us at LinkedIn, Twitter, all those good things. We We try and stay current. So please, take a look. And if you need any help integrating, et cetera, or with just any kind of data management, you know where to find us. But please keep an eye out also for our subsequent partner videos like this, and really find out what we should be focusing on and how partnering with us hopefully can help you get there much more smoothly and hopefully effectively, happily, all those good things. So until we meet again, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll keep your apps talking.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Nagesh.